What's going on, guys? Rye Flawless here, and today we're going to be talking about the terrestrial phenomenon. Due to the recent gameplay demo the media got a hold of, we now have a better understanding of how the mechanic works. So without further ado, let's talk about what's new in the world of Pokemon. Alright, so the first thing to look at with this is that there's no downside offensively to Terastallizing. It's only a buff as far as offenses go. So when you Terastallize, you will gain the defensive typing of the Terra type you turn into. So say you turn into fire, you will only have the fire type weaknesses. But if you had other typings prior, say you're a water type Pokemon or something like that, you'll still get the same type attack bonus from those original typings that the Pokemon had. For example, let's look at Charizard. Not really sure why I'm picking Charizard, it was just the first two type Pokemon that came to mind. Charizard is fire and flying, and you could Terastallize it into ground type to gain immunity to electric type attacks, if that's something that's threatening you or something that you feel like Charizard would need on the team that you're building. So he would get that immunity and only have the ground type weaknesses. But on the offensive side of things, he would get the same type attack bonus, aka stab bonus, for fire, flying, and ground type. So not only his fire attacks that he learns like flamethrower or fire blast, also flying moves like air slash or hurricane, but also ground type moves like scorching sand. And if you're not familiar with what the same type attack bonus buff is, it's 1.5 times the base power of the move. But if you're not looking to gain another type of stab move for maybe more coverage with a little bit more power to it, and you're just looking for more raw power, you could Terastallize into a type that you already have. So we'll look at the same Charizard and say we Terastallize it into fire, and you would still drop that electric type weakness. No, you wouldn't be able to be immune to it like with ground, but it would go down to a neutral hit versus the super effective hit when you still had the fire flying typing. On top of that, your fire moves will now get a 2 times boost or double, and your flying type moves will still have that 1.5 times buff. So now a flamethrower with that double is going to have a base power of 180. And these buffs don't even include other things that would raise your power, like stat increases or held items or weather. And a Pokemon in particular that I want to point out with this mechanic is Dhelmise. And Dhelmise isn't confirmed as of yet for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and I don't know if it will be, especially with how crazy this is. But with Dhelmise, it is a 2-type Pokemon. It's Ghost and Grass, so it gets its same type attack bonus in those 2 typings. But then also it has an ability called Steel Worker, which it gives it the same type attack boost in steel type moves as well. So now you could Terastallize and have a 4th type that is same type attack boosted as well. So you could literally just have a spread of moves and get that 1.5 buff in every single one of those moves. That is just crazy coverage. Alright, the last thing that I want to talk about is Terra Blast. We now know that Terra Blast will be an 80 base power move, which means any Pokemon can Terastallize, then have a 120 base power move because it will become the same type as their Terra type. And then, if you're the same type as the type you Terastallize into, it will be a base 160 power move. Another cool thing about Terra Blast is that it will adapt to whichever type of attack is higher on any given Pokemon. So if you have a physical attacking Pokemon, its attack will be its higher attacking stat. So Terra Blast will become a physical attack in that case. But if you are a special attacker and have higher special attack, then Terra Blast will become a special attack. So it's really cool, it's very versatile, and with that 80 base power with the Terastallized boost, It will be a very powerful attack. The only drawback of the move is if you don't Terastallize that Pokemon, it will only be an 80 base power normal attack, which is probably less than ideal on most Pokemon. One of the best examples of this I talked about in my meta prediction video, and that's Swift Swim Golduck. If you turn Swift Swim Golduck into a Grass Terra type and he has Terra Blast, he will have a 120 base power Grass type move to hit opposing Water types with. And he'll still have the speed boost from Swift Swim in the rain. And then even though it's becoming Grass type, the Fire type weakness it just gained will be mitigated by the rain being up. So it's super fast, be super strong, it'll be able to hit Pokemon of the same type, and it'll still work really well in the rain. Alright guys, so that's my analysis of the Terastal phenomenon. But what do you guys think about it? I think that this is going to affect VGC in particular quite a bit going forward, or at least throughout this generation. I think it's going to be very hard hitting, a lot faster than the Sword and Shield meta and other metas prior. I think there'll be less opportunities for switching around and more defensive plays. I do think there's still room for defensive plays, but I do think speed control will be absolutely paramount in this meta game. So make sure you have your Tailwinds, your Trick Rooms, your Swift Swims, your Chlorophylls. Have some way of controlling the speed and putting it in your advantage. But that's all of my thoughts for today. You're all flawless, and I'll see you next time. Bye.